We're smooth 98.1 FM. Good morning and welcome to Business Express, the Tech Friday edition. And I'm joined this morning by a special guest as we begin to explore the practicality of artificial intelligence in Nigeria. And to help us make understanding or get more insight into it will be Yinka Awosanya, research lead Intel Point, who will speak to us this morning. Good morning to you, Awosanya.
Hi, good morning. Thank you for having me.
Okay, let's begin to look into this one, where if we begin to talk about artificial intelligence, that's AI. Is this, is Nigeria really, should we consider Nigeria being in the league, or is this bridge too far for Nigeria for us to expect Nigeria to cross in terms of practical use?
Yes, I won't say Nigeria is in the lead. No, we are not even in the top guys doing it. But then, of course, it's really a bridge that I think it's necessary for us it's really an important bridge in this day and age for every country, and especially Nigeria with all we are facing in terms of all aspects of life in the country. It's definitely a bridge that we have to jump onto. And I believe, yes, there are a couple of things that are currently being used using AI in Nigeria as far as we are at the moment.
Well, since you say yes, it's a bridge that we should look to, but are some of those conditions, those things that should be in place before we begin to talk about this bridge? We want to go on this bridge, or even do we have a ladder to get us on the bridge?
So at the moment, there is no sort of ladder. So a majority of things that are happening at the moment in terms of crossing that AI bridge are happening in silos, if I use that word. So the reason why I say they're happening in silos is because you have cases of it's majorly startups or private companies that are really doing these things, companies that are really doing it for more efficiency of their own processes and the like. So it's not really something that there is a body, a bigger body that is really like guiding what should happen in this space, what you should do with it and stuff like that. So it's just basically companies that are really doing pioneering it for their business, startups doing stuff about using AI for their to service their customers in products and services.
I'll get back to you shortly. There's still one more question coming across in that direction, but let's get to
Uh,
the client and let them know they can chime in and get into this conversation as we go along.
uh,
On 0809 444 0981 will be where we like to read your messages. And today is the Tech Friday edition of Business Express, and it's all about the practicality of AI, artificial intelligence in Nigeria. And our guest is Yinka Awosanya, helping us get a better understanding. Let's even break it. Let's go back there again. Where is the place of electricity in AI? Since you let's just go straight to the eye of the fish.
Okay, the place of electricity in AI. So I guess the case of yes, electricity can, AI can help detect what could really happen. So, but for electricity, so I believe electricity is the far. So there are still other things that really need to be done for we to start saying, okay, yes, let's go as far as electricity. Let's take our education, for instance. So, while I was in school, the curriculum that we used is as old as myself. And that's for me that I finished school lately, in 2019. And if we go back to that same school now and look at the same curriculum, you see that it's still that same curriculum of 20, 30 years old curriculum that they are still using. So there's really nothing really preparing people to say, yes, this is the next frontier. And in the last 20, 30 years, a lot has happened that needs to be in our education, but that's currently not happening. And it's the same with AI. Last year alone, Google launched an AI chatbot, Microsoft launched an AI chatbot, ChatGPT was launched in late 2022. And that was happened in the space of 1 year alone. And we are still like 10, 20 years behind. And you have guys, yes, you have companies in Nigeria that are using AI chatbots in to provide services for their customers and the likes. But it's really not something that is really something at the top that will trickle down. It's not say yes, it's in our education system that okay, yes, you're preparing these guys for what's currently obtainable. I did that accounting, and throughout my stay, I didn't use PC in my school more than 3 or 4 times. And these days, accounting, you are not doing it on paper. You are doing it on a computer for crying out loud. But then I did not use, there was no use case for us to even say, okay, yes, let's try and see what will happen outside. So our education is not really preparing us for that. And then you are not add AI to it, which makes the case even a what a was one.
So have you in your practice come across any indigenous AI, maybe engineers in Nigeria?
Oh yes. So okay. So maybe yes and no. So yes, you have companies that claim to be using AI in their products, in their services, but not say okay, yes, this and of course you have Nigerians outside the country that are really doing a lot of stuff in terms of AI in Nigeria. In terms of AI. But then in Nigeria, yes, you have people. So recently, is it last year? Last year, yeah, last year. Towards the ending of last year, the Minister of Communications Technology, Awosanya, was there is this initiative for startups, and then it was placing priority for startups that are really using AI. So I believe that kind of initiative is to say, yes, this thing is really happening in the country. Something like we need more of it and stuff like that. Yes, so that's why I say it's a yes and no question. I believe there are more, but meeting them, of course, you go online, you see people claiming to use AI for their products. So
So the next thing would let's begin to localize AI, for example, the practical uses of AI, if it's be deployed in Nigeria. Have you seen areas where we can draft it into to make our lives better?
a lot, a lot. So this is it. So over the last 1 year or 1.5 years that we have AI chatbots like ChatGPT and the likes, we've had comments about how it's made life easier. So now imagine not just chatbots. Now imagine if we apply AI to um, healthcare to start with. So imagine where we can detect trending uh, um, disease across. So something is happening in Lagos. The same thing is happening in Calabar or in Kano State, and then there is something to really monitor those diseases to say, okay, yes, there's a pattern here. This is an outbreak or stuff like that. So there's that. There's also financial services in detecting fraud. Yes, some banks claim they are currently using that to detect fraud, as well as get people's credit worthiness. You're taking a loan and then in less than 1 minute, so the bank is able to detect if you are creditworthy and stuff like that. Yes, so there's also the big fish, which is the government. So imagine deploying AI in our government. It makes the job so much easier. And of course, yes, oh, there'll be a lot of job cuts, but then it makes the thing easier. There is going to be efficiency, effectiveness. So instead of taking 100, so you apply for a license, and then so the job that will take people say months for them to give you the license, trying to do checks and all of that. AI is something that you can do like as soon as fast as possible, and then so the businesses get what they need to be done. The government is more efficient, and it also leads to reducing the cost of governance, which is really, really, really huge when it comes to Nigeria. So yes, there are a lot. There is also the part of agriculture in detecting diseases that are affecting crops and likes and ways they can mitigate that. So, and of course, Nigeria, we import a lot of food, despite the fact that we are an agrarian society. So it's like those are just 4 parts. There is hardly any other sector of the economy that AI cannot be applicable to because of the huge importance of it in this day and age.
So this leads us to our educational sector. I know you had touched on it a while ago. You said some of the developments we see existing in
Yeah.
AI in Nigeria are just happening in silos. So that will take
Yes.
us to what we can do in terms of our curriculum, where the public institutions and private would be on the same page. How feasible is that? So we know we are heading as a country in a particular direction, not everybody running in different direction towards one
Yeah.
direction.
Yes. So, okay, so the question is what we need to do
Yes,
to
in
get
terms
to
of our
that goal
curriculum to
in terms of
get us there.
curriculum. Yeah. So, as I said earlier, so we need to make our curriculum to align with current reality. To start with, like what we are teaching people in school. Like even if we can start from primary, once you get to secondary school, there should be like what you are being taught is what's happening outside. So we're talking about AI now, and you go to universities, and it's still a case of teaching tools that were used 30 years ago. Tools being used 30 years ago, and it's not what's currently happening. So it's a case of like overhauling the entire curriculum system in Nigeria. If we can start from secondary, I mean, primary school, we can start from secondary school and say, okay, yes, this is it. We need to look at what is there. How old is this? Are these things still applicable now? And if they are not applicable, we discuss them and bring in fresh ideas. A lot of things that happened in the last 1 year, not to talk of looking back 10, 20 years. And then you still have this curriculum that as old as 20, 30 years without no much change in it. And then every state in the country has a Ministry of Education, and there's also the Federal Ministry of Education. So, like, everybody needs to come together and say, yes, we're going to review what we are teaching our children. It said children are the leaders of tomorrow. But if you are not preparing them for today, how do we prepare them for tomorrow? So preparing them for today and tomorrow is making sure that our curriculum aligns with current happening in our society, in the world. It's a case of, so right now we say the world is a global village. Because this interview now, I could be in outside the country and be doing it with you. So we need to know what so our curriculum need to align with current happening. So not just say yes, we need to teach kids. No. We need to like teach kids what it's applicable now, what's currently happening now. So that we are preparing them for the future, so they can come out of the of institutions and not start learning about what's currently happening because it's already part of the curriculum that they were taught in school. Yes, I believe that's one of the ways, and it takes a lot of willpower to really do that because you're talking about overhauling an entire system.
So as we wrap up this conversation this morning, let's see if we get some more messages in before we wrap things up. We'll get them across
Okay.
on 0809 444 0981. It's all about the practicality of artificial intelligence in Nigeria, and Yinka Awosanya is still speaking with me. But in summary, let's close things up. Do you see this AI talk as something that is really overhyped as we speak? And final question, what do you expect of the AI development this year?
No, AI is not overhyped. Because last year alone, bad ChatGPT, like a lot of people are tons of people are using it for their work now. So for that, it's not really overhyped. If you bring it home to Nigeria, of course, we are not there yet. We are still not even close to. Yes, we have Nigerians using it, but we are not close to uh, uh it in terms of yes, developing stuff that really help us. Of course, we have people using it in banking and the likes, but it's still not there. And so, what do I see of of AI in 2024? So this is it. So last year it made us believe see things that are possible, and like the future is these things are. So and we have people that are scared for their life because AI could take their job. I believe that scare is not going away, and that's just a fact because we are still going to see more advancement in the field of AI. Um, we have companies that are raising hundreds of millions of dollars just to pump it into their AI products. And that's why I said that fear of that, yes, AI is coming for people's job. It's not going away. It's still going to have more people being scared of the fact that yes, there are advancement happening every now and then. And this year is not going to be an exception. We're still going to see that those advancements happening. And it's just a case of people getting ready to work with this AI to say, yes, I am ready to make sure that yes, the AI doesn't kick me out of the job, but then we work together to make my own job easier.
All right, in summary, just simply saying that get ready to work with AI or you'll be left behind.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what it is. It is what it
Yeah,
is.
yeah, it is what it is.
All right, thank you
That
so
that that
much.
just is clear.
Okay, so it's been a special session speaking with Yinka, research lead,
Also,
Intel
yeah.
Point. Thank you so much for your time. Do you have yourself a great weekend.
You too. All right, thank you very much.
All right. And that's how we wrap things up this